Okay, let's deep dive. What I'm going to invite you to do is really allow that initial sensation of, I have to watch a video and I have to do this, and allow that to be present with us. I notice anytime I'm doing anything for the first or second time, don't love that experience, but instead of resisting the resistance by allowing it to be here, it does make it a lot easier. And I think one of the cool gifts of this, just checking for the cat, is that there's genuinely no right or wrong. So within all of this work, we're really moving away from the paradigm of right, wrong, good, bad, better, worse, and really drawing our awareness towards what is, if that makes sense. What are you currently experiencing? How is that showing up for you? How do you feel? And above that, kind of moving up the cascade of the way in which we experience life, allowing space to really look at your perceptions, the way that you perceive and receive the world through your belief systems, your thoughts, your feelings, actions, reactions, what we recognize as physical symptoms. So with that, I think with that, I feel that it'll be interesting to allow yourself, in whatever way feels good to you, to bring movement into the body. Again, acknowledging that when we're being told, move, it's like, no. However, in whichever way feels best for you, what I like to go for, just checking where I can put this microphone, is a simple shake. So as you probably know, as women, we hold a lot of emotion within our hips, within our pelvic bowl, which this makes sense because that is our place of creation, where our womb is, where we literally create life, but also it is our creative hub, our place of sensuality, our place of sensuality, giving and receiving. So standing hip width apart, you can just allow yourself to move. Basically, you're moving each hip forward, like forward, 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 and then consciously releasing the muscles in this area. Hip, 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 hip. And that's the focus. And you'll probably feel your butt moving, which is good. And then by also dropping the tension in your knees, you can kind of move down into that movement. Dun, dun, dun. And then shaking out up. Again, do it for the length of time you feel comfortable. Again, I find for me when there's a time set on things. No, thank you. So shaking out our legs, shaking out our arms. And if you do notice that your heart is increasing and that feels uncomfortable, I know for a lot of us that breathing in itself, the mechanics are asking for some support there. So allowing yourself to, when you notice the need, to take a double breath in through your nose and release through your mouth like you're blowing out through a straw. Perfect. In through your nose. And with all of this, I know what we're going to do next. With all of this, it's good to have an awareness that everything that we are looking at, the body has to process. So by giving yourself the choice to find a still point to focus on, for me it's a tree outside, that also can be really supportive, just so that we are beginning to limit the inputs that we are taking in. What we're going to do next, I kind of need my mic stand. What we're going to do next is, this is called peripheral vision, and we can leverage peripheral vision to your benefit, because of course peripheral vision helps us to be aware of our surroundings. So we're all very familiar with the experience of staring at, we're all familiar with staring at our mobile phones, and the body language is closing in, and we're closing in, and we're entering into the realms of what is so poetically labelled doom scrolling. Now, so often that's definitely recognised that no one is doom scrolling because we want to bring doom into our lives. We're often doing that behaviour because we perceive it to be a source of consistency, of calm, of certainty, of resourcing. Now, on a physiology level, that's not what ends up happening. We end up moving into that point of overstimulation, often outside of our window of tolerance of what we can hold within our nervous system in a way that feels good. However, here's a quick fix. So choose a still point in front of you. Both hands, like so, have that placed on the still point in front of you. And then what we're going to do, imagining that both of my hands are still extended forwards, keeping your eyes on that still point, begin to move your hands outwards. Noticing that you can both see that still point of focus while also being aware of your eyes, of your hand even, of your hand stretching out. Moving your arm out just as I am, all the way out. And just noticing that you can see that still point of focus in front of you alongside, my eyes have just shifted, alongside your hands. And notice how it feels as you are able to perceive all 3 points. Breathing in here. And releasing that breath. Now, a note on breath as we drop our arms. The reason that people talk about breath so often is that breath is one of the few, or only to be honest. Now, a note on breath. We've all been told, just take a deep breath, and we've all felt correct, annoyed about that. The reason that people talk about breath so often is that breath is one of the few parts of our subconscious mind. It's part of the subconscious, as in you're not consciously thinking, breathe in, breathe out, the majority of the time. Panic attack, different story. However, majority of the time we are not conscious of the fact that we are breathing in and breathing out. So the reason that people talk about breath so much is because you can consciously leverage that unconscious process, and that creates physiological shifts within the body. Hence why we take the double breath in through our nose and out through the mouth. And the reason that we're taking the 2 breaths in is that you can only take a double breath in when you are safe. So you are telling your body through a physical action that you're safe. And it is a great one to leverage all day, every day. Double breath in and breathing out. I also want to acknowledge that for a lot of us, breath is difficult. Like our musculoskeletal system has been shifted and aligned along the years, especially if you're someone with a tongue tie. So that is a constant state of tension within your body. So while you can do myofascial therapy to release the muscles, the tendons and the fibers in and around your breath, I think it's good to be acknowledging that, as you can see now, the act of breath is a fascinating deep dive, but also something to tend to. And with all of this, again, we're moving beyond judgment. I'm bad at breathing towards, I wonder why that is. Applying curiosity and asking high quality questions so that we can begin to ascertain more information, more knowledge, more understanding, not just stopping at the level of understanding, but also giving ourselves access to a map of what it is that we can move towards next in terms of solutions, which is often more of a dissolution. What we perceive to be our problems based on our current perceptions can be dissolved and released, the problem going with it. So what we're going to do next. So we've done shaking, we've done breath, we've done our peripheral movement. So good to have access to this one as and when you need. Right, last thing I want to do for this, because I really like it, is we're going to get our hands like this. Let me just remember this. What was it? Right, we want to do this. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to get our hand and then we're going to do this. Not like that. And then you're going to place your 2 fingers where your third eye is here. 1 finger here, other 2 fingers here. However that shows up for you. Wait, no, I'm blocking both. What we're going to do next is place, and then we're going to breathe in through our left nostril first. So place, place. This is free. Kind of hard to move those by themselves. Place, place, breathe in through your left nostril. Block, release, out through the right. In through the right. Place, release. breathing out through the left. In through the left. Pausing at the top as we get into the rhythm. Release, breathing out. So in, hold, out, no, so in, hold, release the, so it's in, hold, so it's in, hold, release, release, breathing in through the right, out through the left, in through the left, out through the right, in through the right, in through the left. If that makes sense. So it's in through the left, so it's in through the left, so it's in through the left, hold, out, then breathing in through the right, hold, out through the left, in through the left, hold, out through the right, in through the right, hold, out through the right, but doing this. Now what we're doing here is that we are balancing both sides of the brain. And as you allow yourself to do that for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, as with all of these practices, the longer you can do them, the better. You're allowing yourself to shift into a great time and place and space. Okay, so with that, I feel like we're going to get into it. Let's do this live. Let's do this together. I'm just going to reset this setup.